What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Boosie Badazz is on one hell of a run right now. I think if you're not paying attention at this point, you're just very, sleeping. You're just sleeping on him. So stop sleeping on him. He put out In My Feelings and then Out My Feelings. And then now he has Thug Talk, the latest album, which is his third album this year. And he has no plans to stop. He already said that he's doing a bigger album with Atlantic Records that's supposed to come out in June, but you know how that is. It may or may not come out then. Anyways, we've gotten a lot of Boosie this year, and what separates Thug Talk from the first two is more along the lines of this being sort of like Boosie's life in a way. I think Boosie tells stories that apply to his past, his life, and what he's seen, but not necessarily like specific. These are more general stories and general, ideas that has happened to him. He doesn't go in depth about a lot of stuff. I was watching an interview with Tupac. I think it was with MTV. And one of the things that stood out to me was he was in the studio previewing some music, and the woman that was interviewing him asked him something along the lines of like how you are supposed to do, music coming from the streets. When you tackle like that subject matter, talking about drugs and guns and shooting and all that stuff. So Tupac's answer, and I'm paraphrasing here, was basically along the lines of, if you're only showing one side, then you're doing a disservice to, everyone. As an artist, Tupac has always shown like the double-edged sword of it. He shows the side of, selling drugs, but then he also shows you the side from the fiends. And he's showing you what happens, shooting like that and then going to prison. So I feel like he's always been well-rounded with his music, and that's something that carries over to Boosie. I've seen people compare Boosie to Tupac, and it's a fair comparison. Obviously, they're two different artists when you really want to break it down, but on the surface, you definitely can compare the two because Boosie is very honest and open and just doesn't care. So getting into Thug Talk, he says in the beginning, he says a lot of people won't understand Thug Talk, but there's millions of people who will understand Thug Talk. And then he goes on to say, if you're one of the people that already don't understand, just listen to the music and you'll understand. And it's a very true statement. I feel like the album itself is really good. I think my issue with Out the Past was, or Out My Past, whatever the title is, I'm blanking on it, but the one thing that I didn't like about it was it needed to be trimmed. But I feel Thug Talk is the opposite, in the sense that it doesn't need to be trimmed at all. I think the one song I would get rid of is Retarded, just because I think it works if you just use it like once or twice in a song, but if you wrap a whole concept around it, wrap the whole the whole chorus around it, then it just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. But everything else really did well. I mean, he has a record like Menace to Society where he's just spreading the right message and asking God to help the people in the streets. That's one thing that Boosie covers. He covers a lot on Thug Talk. There's a lot through the 17 tracks. Like I said, there's Menace to Society. There's Found Love in You, which is a heartfelt record dedicated to his kids. And I like that record a lot. I thought it stood out. Regret It, which continues to show the chemistry between Boosie and Webby. The one thing I was confused about, because maybe it's just my copy, but Regret It sounds a lot lower. It doesn't sound as mixed and mastered as well as the other songs. Like when I start listening to it, it just sounds very low. I don't know if that's just my copy or not, but I like that record a lot. I don't think Webby's verse was anything groundbreaking, but it wasn't bad to add to the song. Basically Webby is more along the lines of just talking. Like his verse is pretty much like that. But one thing that stood out that Boosie said was, I wonder if Ja regret not shooting 50. I don't know. It's an interesting question. It's one that obviously was thought-provoking if I had to make a note about it. And then there's another record called Finish You, which is as tough as Boosie gets. He said, just took my walkthrough money and bought a bag of guns. Like, when you talk about Webby's hardest music, I think Finish You is one of those records that is definitely in the top 10 or top 20. And, you know, the whole album to me is, it just goes through different moods and different things. I mean, just the records I highlighted, you got records dedicated to his kids, you got records of him being tough, of him looking at regret, of him, you know, asking God to help the people in the streets. That alone, that's a lot of different subjects. And the other thing that I wanted to highlight was that the production is very fitting to the subject matter. I think Boosie is good at picking out beats that really fit. For example, you have For the Love of Money, and it has this cold, eerie beat that goes along with the subject matter of how money changes you, how money shapes people, and how money, you know, ends people, and all these different things that go along with the pursuit of the dollar sign. And like I said, a lot of the production is very fitting to the subject matter, and that's something that I really enjoy out of Boosie. Overall, though, Thug Talk is another great body of work to his discography. I like that these are considered mixtapes, but they're still retail, and I think it's a smart thing to do. You know, just because giving away free albums or free, you know, free albums of this quality just doesn't do anything for Boosie at this point in his career. The people that like Boosie are going to support this on iTunes, and you definitely should. And I definitely want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you like this project? And where does it rank among Boosie's current run? Just including the other two projects that he dropped this year. Is this one the best? Is this one in the middle? Is it the weakest? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
Money gun, bitch, I'll pistol with your pussy.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.